This is Trend Following Radio, where great thinking comes alive. Nobel Prize winners, legendary traders, best-selling authors, and the pros that know what drive us irrational human beings. I am your host, Michael Covel. Not filtered, raw, honest. That's my passion. What a time. I've not done a true monologue in some time because, frankly, things are moving so damn quick. And I like to get these things edited a little. It's just been better to sit back and let things stew for a little bit. But here I am on March 27th recording this, surveying the landscape. And I think back to a time. I think back to March 2009. March 2009, I was editing, along with a very large team, a documentary. And March 2009 was the last edit of my film, Broke, The New American Dream. That was the last edit. Kind of funny, huh? Doing a film about the financial crisis. And the bottom was March 2009, my last edit for my film. Now, I went back the other day and I looked at some aspects of it. I mean, I know what the film is exactly. It was part of my life for 3 years. But I looked at some of the lines, and it was designed this way. It's timeless. It's an absolute timeless message. Go check out my Twitter feed, @Covel. Look at that excerpt right there. That could have been made last week. But with a trend-following perspective, hell, is it such a surprise? No, not really. And when I think back to that time, March 2009, the bailouts, the regulatory changes, whatever other governmental and banking changes that were made, what we now know as the Big Short period, I mean, the film defined it all. We all know how the hell the dot-com bubble happened. We know how the Big Short happened. It's all been laid out. But magically, at the end of that film, and not that the Big Short was responsible for telling us what would happen next, but now in March of 2020, we know what happened next. We know that while the Big Short was essentially about a bubble popping, a bubble that was produced to help us get out of the dot-com crash, we now know the last 10 years we're another bubble. Oh, sure, Corona plays a big role in this. But if you introduce a trigger, something like Corona, to a very fragile system, a fragile system that essentially allowed us to go from the Big Short period of 2008, 2009, where we had massive real estate losses, massive stock losses, and to essentially have all of those losses just disappear on paper. And the only repercussion was no interest rates for 10 years. So all of a sudden, post 08, 09, everyone was off to the races again following a bailout. Now, I want you to think about how many smart voices you've listened to in the last 10 years tell you why. They've got their theories. They understand the fundamentals. They know what's going to happen next. They're on Twitter every goddamn day telling you what they think. They want those followers. They want those eyeballs. Oh, don't get me wrong. I want them too, but not for the same reason. Because I don't ask you to listen to me every damn day. Because I don't know what the fuck is going to happen next. And nor do those other guys know what the fuck is going to happen next. But they pretend they know what's going to happen. They pretend, and they've been pretending for 10 years. These are very smart people, at least by an IQ measure. Many of them I'm friendly with. Many of them have probably been on this podcast. But their voices of the last decade, their messages, utter garbage, nonsense. Because now, the next bubble has popped. So where does that leave the last decade of market analysis, market insight from all of these market pros? A big waste of time if you actually paid attention. Now, do I think any of them will stop? No, it's how they make their money. It's how they get their attention. But maybe we should stop. I flipped on CNBC in the last couple weeks for the first time in literally years. And to watch Cramer, to watch Faber talk about bailouts when the market was down 10% or 15% or 20% or whatever, you just shake your head. You say, what kind of system is this? What kind of system is this? We don't have any form of a market system in America anymore. It's gone. We've got a rigged system controlled by a few, and they do whatever they want, whenever the shit hits the fan. And you, Mr. and Mrs. John Q. Public, are just a lemming sitting there waiting for your handout. Here you go, sir. Here's $1,200. You just lost your house and you lost your job, but here's $1,200. Look, I want to see people do well. I don't want to see people hurt. But when you have an entire economy that's built off people not owning anything and having to make a payment, a debt payment for their life every month to cover everything from their house to their food to their car, just to live a pretend lifestyle of I'm successful. And this is supported by bailouts that have been going on for 20 years. And we no longer have any interest rate to speak of because of this. This is fragile. This is fragile with a capital F. And now something like a virus comes in and boom, we're flat on our back. We're flat on our back because 50% of America does not have $1,000 in the bank. So if one little thing happens, and Corona's not exactly little, but if something like Corona happens, people can't get by for a month. They can't survive for 30 days. What kind of society is that? It's not robust. It's not strong. It's not smart. It's fucked up. Look, life is probability. Life is possibility. Life is opportunity. Life is uncertain. Life is unknown. At least the next day is unknown. We've known these principles. We've known these truisms for thousands of years. But the current incarnation of the United States of America doesn't care. Because once that dot-com bubble popped in 2000, bottoming out in 2002, which then started the run-up to the real estate crisis in 07, 08, 09, which then led to massive bailouts, which then leads directly to here, right now. Is it crazy to look back over 20 years and say it's all connected? You'd be crazy to say it's not connected. And as a side to this, I'm currently in Asia. I've been watching the pandemic unfold since January. My behavior has been changed since January. Social distancing, masks, etc. But it's really sucked to watch my home country muddle through this pandemic. To watch politicians tell people to go out and party in New York City in early March, and then within 3 weeks telling people half the city will get the virus. You just got to shake your head because to me, all of this is connected. The market bubbles, the incompetence, a population that doesn't seem to care about anything except buying cases of Mountain Dew from Costco. This is really messed up. I'm hoping, I'm praying that an event like this can help people to find a grounding. I had hoped it would happen after 2008, 2009. But we then pulled off a decade of funny money, a decade of market rigging. And this isn't partisan. If you find yourself right now looking at all of these things through a partisan lens, you're part of the problem. It's all the same. And those politicians, Those American politicians, they do a great job of representing the beliefs of their voters. Because no one in America really wants to admit this is all a problem. And right now, in the midst of this 2020 problem, what do? The biggest bailout known to man. Where will that take us? Will it work? What happens next? Well, let me talk about what happens next in terms of a trading strategy, in terms of making money. I mentioned earlier all the Twitter bros, the Twitter analysts, and all their fundamental views about what's going to happen next, their so-called market opinions. Well, we all know now, as we approach April 2020, it was all bullshit. And there are voices out there that have good insights about how to navigate a world that you can't predict. My book, Trend Following, does a damn good job of that. Nassim Taleb does a damn good job of that. If you read up on Jim Simons, whether or not he did well in March of 2020, irrelevant. But Jim Simons is all about not asking why. Let me follow the data. It's a brave new world right now. And the data is the winner. Not the opinions, not the views, not the mob. The data. Which way is the data moving? Up or down? That's the only damn way any of us can navigate what's going to happen next. Because if you're sitting there right now listening, waiting for a voice to give you the all clear, a voice to tell you it's okay, a voice to tuck you in at night and give you a kiss on the forehead, you're crazy. Maybe your life is fucked up now. Maybe you lost your retirement now. Maybe you're going to lose your house. Maybe you lost your job. Don't make your kids go down the same path. Give your kids insights they can use. Don't let them become you. Just because you bought into the fake American dream of buying everything on Amazon, every piece of plastic you could buy on Amazon to pretend you were rich when you got $1 million house and $1 million mortgage. Let your kids see something else. Let them understand something else. I know I sound intense today, but I'm actually very clear-minded. March of 2020 is going to deliver, for those awake, tremendous opportunity. Tremendous. But you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to be smart. If you're sitting around waiting for a politician to solve it for you, you're done. You're in the matrix. You're lost. Come to my side of the equation. And let's think. Let's ponder. Let's debate. Let's be truthful. Let's be honest. Let's get to the heart of the matter and make things good again. I can't recall his name. Back in the day, it was either the early 2000 bubble, the dot-com bubble, or the real estate bubble, 07, 08, 09. But there was this guy that hung TVs up in his work shed. And he screamed all kinds of crazy shit. And he would blow his TV up with a shotgun. Does anyone know who this guy was? I have to get him on the podcast. I want to find his old videos. If anyone knows who this guy was, please text me. I used to laugh my rear end off so much because I think that guy, that crazy guy, and I can't recall exactly what he said, but the sheer act of hanging up a TV inside your tool shed and shooting at it with a shotgun, that really says the mindset that you should have if you want to get the hell out of this crisis. I see a time when those awake will understand how to make money in up, down, and surprise markets. Whether new trader or experienced, college student or financial advisor, protecting against a crash or just trying to make a lot of money, Trend Following offers everyone an answer in uncertain times. To get started immediately, send me an email, michael@covel.com. I will send you the right trend following steps to take along with my free video. But if you want to buy and hold, trust the government and trust Wall Street, this is absolutely not for you.